kids, what is going on? I got a question for you. Have you ever met someone that was mean and seemed like a real jerk? Maybe they were rude or cruel or prideful, or they treated everyone around them like losers? Isn't that the worst? But now I gotta ask you a tougher question. I want you to answer honestly. Have you ever been that person? Have you ever said something mean to someone or bragged about how much better you were than everybody else? Or maybe even thrown a fit when you didn't get your way? Yeah, I think we all have at times. But today, anyhow, we are going to learn how not to be a jerk. So, pay close attention. You could learn a lot. But before we even get into that, I want you to watch this awesome video.
This series, YOLO, You Only Live Once, where we have been looking at some awesome stories from the book of Esther. And of course, I've been on my journey doing crazy stunts and facing my fears. Today, I'm going to do the craziest stunt yet. Let's go.
Today, we're gonna go cliff diving, but it's kind of a long drive, so let's go. So we're here at the cliffs, and I'm gonna be honest with you. These are a lot higher than I thought they were gonna be. I just need a second to hype myself up. Here we go. Okay, I think I'm ready. Forget it. I cannot believe that I just did that.
Wasn't that awesome? You know, for a really long time, I was determined to never try that. The reason why is because there's this guy at my school who always makes fun of me for being too scared. He calls me ugly names, treats me horrible, all because I'm too scared to do it. You know, some people can be really mean. They make other people feel like they are less than them. They tear other people down and make them feel really bad about themselves. Some people call these people jerks. There's someone in the book of Esther who really struggled with being a jerk. His name was King Xerxes. He would tear other people down and make them feel like they didn't matter. That's not good. In your lesson today, you're gonna learn all about King Xerxes. Xerxes. You're gonna learn that God doesn't want us to treat people horribly. God wants you to be a blessing, not a jerk. Well, I'm gonna let you get back into your lesson today. And while you do that, I'm gonna be planning my next big stunt. Until next time, I'm Lauren, reminding you that you only live once. Make it count.
We need to do our best to avoid being a jerk. Today, we are learning what not to do by looking at the story of a man named King Xerxes. He was a total jerk, but if we can avoid his mistakes, we can make sure we don't become a jerk. Now it's time to check in with Amber and find out what's up.
Hey friends, it's Amber here with the What's Up. And today, it's this. Treat people nicely. Don't be a jerk. Now when we do this together, you have to do the motions, okay? It's not gonna be fun unless you do the motions, all right? So girls, we're gonna go stand on up, nice and loud. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Treat people nicely. Don't be a jerk. I see you, that was super good, super good. All right, sit on down girls, and boys, stand on up. Gonna give you a second. You ready? Nice and loud. 3, 2, 1. Treat people nicely. Don't be a jerk. Nice. Boys, stay standing. Girls, stand on up. We're gonna do it all together. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Treat people nicely. Don't be a jerk. Awesome, guys. And that was today's What's Up.
It's me, Wiggy Pop. I'm here to teach you another rockin' power verse. Today's power verse says, don't be selfish, don't try to impress others, be humble, thinking of others as better than yourselves. Philippians 2:3. Woo! was a rockin' power verse. You know what I need? I need the girls to stand up and say it with me. You can do it. Stand up and say the power verse with Wiggy. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourselves. Philippians 2:3. Great job, girls. You may have a seat. All right, boys. Get up on your feet and say the power verse with me, or Wiggy Pop. Are you ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourselves. Philippians 2:3. Hey, great job. You may have a seat. You may have a seat. You know, some people are so mean. I mean, they brag on themselves and make other people feel like nobodies. The other day, I was at one of my concerts, and there was a dude on the front row that kept yelling at me, "You stinking air guitar, Wiggy. Hey, I think I can play better than you." The guy was being a real jerk. Oh, I started to respond to him, but then I remembered, God doesn't want us to act like jerks. No, he wants us to treat other people nicely, no matter what they do to us. And so I just kept right on with my solo, and I ignored the guy in the front row. Now, I'll tell you what I need. I need everybody, boys and girls, to stand up and do the power verse with me, Wiggy, on the count of 3. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourselves. Philippians 2:3. Nicely done. But before you sit down, let me hear your air guitar. Woo! Great job. You may have a seat. Well, my name is Wiggy Pop, and I've got to get on to my next gig. I'll see you next time when I teach you another rockin' power verse. See you later. Woo!
Today's Bible story follows the story of another important character in the book of Esther. King Xerxes was the king in the land where Esther lived. In Esther chapter 1, King Xerxes threw a huge party. There were lots of food and tons of people celebrating the king. He was very rich and pretty much got whatever he wanted. He invited everyone to this party just to see how wealthy he was and how great he had it. He also wanted to show off his wife, Queen Vashti. She was a very beautiful woman, and he wanted everyone to see her so they would know just how great his wife really was. He wanted to make them jealous. Well, Queen Vashti refused to come in front of everyone at the party. She chose to remain humble and told King Xerxes she wasn't going to show up, which made King Xerxes extremely angry. When he found out she refused his wishes, he yelled to his servants, "Kick her out of the castle! I shall choose another queen." Well, he didn't say that, but it was something really close to that. Wow, that's a bit harsh. That's exactly what happened. Queen Vashti was kicked out and was no longer considered queen or able to see the king ever again. So King Xerxes, needing a new queen, decided to hold a beauty contest for all the young women in the land. When they would bring back the women to him, he would sit on his throne and decide if he wanted that person or that lady to be his queen or not. King Xerxes was ruthless, and none of the women were good enough to be his queen. Until one day, a girl named Hadassah, or better known as Esther, came before the king. She was very beautiful, and King Xerxes was very impressed by her. When he saw her, he immediately said, "Esther will be the new queen." It was a great honor for Esther to be the queen, but very sad how it had to happen. King Xerxes was basically a jerk. He kicked out his queen because she was humble and did not want to show off and come to a party that was all about jealousy. Then he demanded that all of the beautiful women in the land be paraded in front of him, basically like a beauty contest. Once again, not great. King Xerxes did not handle things well, and today, in the rest of this lesson, you're going to learn how to handle things way differently than he did. So listen closely so you don't become like King Xerxes.
Slapstick Theater. Esther's request to the king. This is Esther, who was a Jewish orphan who lived in Persia during the reign of King Xerxes. Esther was adopted by her relative, Mordecai, who worked in the palace of the king. Once, Mordecai had even saved the king's life.
Yep.
Esther became the queen of Persia, but no one knew she was a Jew because Mordecai told her to keep it a secret. This is Haman, who is the second most powerful man in Persia. Haman hated Mordecai because Mordecai wouldn't bow down to him. So Haman convinced King Xerxes to make a decree to kill all Mordecai's people, the Jews. When Mordecai learned about this, he was very upset, as were all the Jews in Persia. When Queen Esther's servants came and told her about how upset Mordecai was, she sent one of her servants, Hatach, to go to Mordecai and find out what was troubling him. So Hatach went out to Mordecai, and Mordecai told him of the plan to kill God's people. Mordecai said that he wanted Esther to go to the king to ask for him to save the Jews. Esther knew that anyone who went to the king without being called could be put to death. But Mordecai reminded Esther that she may have been made queen for such a time as this. So Esther asked for the Jews to pray for her and fast for 3 days. Then Esther put on her royal robes and went before the king. When the king saw Esther, he was happy to see her and asked, "What do you want, Queen Esther? I will give it to you, even if it's half the kingdom." So Esther asked the king if he and Haman would come to a banquet that she had prepared for them, and the king agreed. Esther held a banquet and then asked the king and Haman to come to a second banquet the next night. That night, the king was reminded of how Mordecai had once saved his life. King Xerxes decided that he must honor Mordecai and that Haman would help. Then, at the second banquet, Esther told the king about the plot against her people. The king was angry and asked, "Who would do such a thing?" Esther said it was Haman, and the king ordered Haman to be killed on that very night. But the decree to kill all the Jews was still in place, and the Jews were still in danger. So Mordecai asked the king to issue a new decree so that the Jews could defend themselves. The king did, and the Jews defeated all their enemies. God's people were saved and celebrated their great victory.
Have you ever been in someone else's house that is so much nicer than yours? You thought your house was cool, but then you went to the person's house. It was way better. It was bigger, nicer, cleaner, and had way nicer things inside. Has that ever happened to you? That's always a bit of a bummer. You just thought your room and your toys were awesome, but it turns out your friend has a better room and nicer toys and tons more. You know what's worse? When your friend isn't humble about it. Have you ever had a friend brag about their stuff? Maybe they really showed off how much more awesome their life was than yours. Nobody likes when that happens. That's what King Xerxes did in our Bible lesson. He had a nice house, better food, and colorful stuff than everyone else. He even thought his wife, Queen Vashti, was better than anyone else's wife. He invited everyone over for a party just so he could brag about how great his life was. Well, it turns out doing that made him look like a real jerk. Today we're going to learn from King Xerxes how to be a jerk. If you follow these lessons today, you'll be on your way to being the jerkiest jerk around. Hopefully, you'll avoid following these lessons. Here's the first one.
King Xerxes made sure everyone knew how much he had. He even threw a huge party so more people would come just to see his great stuff. He was the opposite of humble. He was very prideful. King Xerxes needed to be reminded of our power verse. Don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble. Think of others as better than yourselves. Philippians 2:3. The next lesson to follow if you do want to be a jerk is
Get mad when you don't get your way. Have you ever seen a baby throw a fit? I mean, an all-out temper tantrum. What does that sound like? Let me hear it for a second. Yeah, that sounds about right. They cry and they scream and they yell and they squawk until they get what they want. Could you imagine if adults did that? What if when your parents, grandparents, or teacher threw a big old fit when they didn't get what they wanted? They asked for no pickles on their burger at the restaurant, and when the waiter got it wrong, they flopped on the floor, they flailed their arms, and they started crying. Well, that would be crazy. But it's pretty much how King Xerxes responded when Queen Vashti didn't come out in front of everyone at his party. He threw a huge fit, yelling, "Kick her out of the castle! I'm picking a new queen!" What a jerk. It's important that you don't get mad when you don't get your way. When you have to do chores, don't get upset and throw a fit. Put on a smile and do what's right. When you have to clean your room, don't get mad and yell and scream. Instead, say yes sir or yes ma'am and go clean your room. Christians can't whine and fuss over having to do things in this world that we don't like. It's just a part of life. We need to have a good attitude no matter what. We need to be like Jesus, not mad and complaining when things don't go our way. Now, the last thing you can do if you want to be a jerk is
treat people like they don't matter. King Xerxes treated Vashti like she didn't matter. He made her lose her position as queen because he wanted everyone to see how beautiful she was, not how humble she was. He also treated all the other women like they didn't matter too, by demanding that they be part of his beauty contest. They had to stop what they were doing, all the normal things in life, stop those just to be paraded around in front of the king. He didn't care about their families or their talents or abilities or anything like that. He just wanted to know how beautiful they were and if they were pretty enough to be his queen. Honestly, that's like a crummy way to live. We need to treat everyone like they matter because everyone matters to God, so they must matter to us too. And that's everyone. Our best friend, our family members, our teachers, even the bully at school, the neighborhood jerk, and the people in the world who are just plain mean. We need to treat everyone like they matter. So, if you don't want to be a jerk like King Xerxes, see what I did there, Xerxes? Anyhow, if you don't want to be a jerk like King Xerxes, be humble, don't get mad when you don't get your way, and treat people like they matter.
Welcome back, kids, to our rewind review for lesson number 3 of YOLO. JJ and Lucas, I hope you guys are watching. We have some contestants here. We have Miss Amber, and she will be going up against Mrs. Danielle. We are gonna hop right into questions, starting with question number 1. What's up today?
It's treat people nicely. Don't be a jerk.
Got it. Awesome. Rolling right into question number 2. What kind of person was King Xerxes trying to choose for his kingdom?
A queen.
Yes, he was trying to choose a queen. Very good. We're just gonna hop right into question number 3. Did King Xerxes hide his wealth?
Absolutely not.
No, he did not.
didn't.
He did not
No,
hide
he
it. He
didn't.
flaunted it so everyone could see it. Question number 4. We're gonna mix it up and throw in a true or false.
Ooh.
True or false? Did King Xerxes pick a queen before he ever saw Esther?
That's false.
That is false.
Yes.
That is correct. You are correct. The statement was not. Question 5. a little bit of an oddball. Who is hosting our intro videos?
Lauren.
Correct.
Ooh,
Thank
yes,
you, Lauren,
yes,
for hosting our intro videos. We do appreciate you. Question number 6. Another true or false. We're gonna stop back. Another true or false. We must treat people nicely.
I'm gonna say true.
You are correct. True. We should definitely treat people
go.
nicely. Question number 7. This is probably my favorite question. According to our lesson today, to be a jerk, you must make sure everyone knows blank you have.
Is it gonna be how much?
It is how much. Yes, you need to know, make sure everyone knows how much you have. Don't be a jerk, but correct, you are correct. Question 8. According to our lesson today, you must get blank when you don't get your way. So in order to be a jerk, you must get blank when you don't get your way.
Well, I am not a jerk, but I have to say, if you want to be a jerk, you must get mad or angry when you don't get your way.
You gotta be mad. But wait, we don't want to be a jerk. We don't want to be mad.
So
We
we're
don't
good,
wanna be
we're
mad.
good, we're good.
Okay, question number 9. According to our lesson today, to be a jerk, you must treat people like they don't blank.
Matter.
Correct.
Matter.
If you want to be a jerk, let's wait. We don't want to be a jerk.
We don't want to be
So
a jerk.
we want to treat people like they matter.
We have to treat people like they
Okay.
matter because we don't want to be jerks.
Question number 10. I say you both are doing fabulous. I'm not sure the score, but I think Amber might be winning. But I think it's close. I think it's close. Question 10. Where was our power verse found?
Philippians 2:3.
Correct. Philippians 2:3. Wonder, wow, you guys aced that rewind review. We hope you did too, and we'll be sure to see you next week on the rewind review.
Don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourselves. Philippians 2:3.
Throughout today's lesson, we have been learning how to be a jerk. But I hope you know and understand that that is really not what you want to be. We're telling you an extreme to show you that, you know what, that is not what you want to do. And there is an answer and a way to treat others kindly, to love those around you, and love the Lord. You know, the Bible says it in many times in many places, but one of the best and the greatest commandments is love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, strength, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. That is a way to not be a jerk. That is a way to not be like King Xerxes? Yeah, Xerxes, King Xerxes, but actually to be someone that is gonna show the love and the light of Jesus. And so we hope as you go out through your week that you remember, don't be a jerk, but be someone that makes a change. And we'll see you next time.